What's up everyone, this is Mr. Monkey here, and today we are doing a console tier list. Alright? Yeah. Alright. We're missing a few tiers, hold up. You see, we gotta have the F, for failure, and we gotta have the I don't care for I don't care. Alright, now first up, we have the Atari Pong. I'm gonna give this an A for Atari. This is a I don't care. I'm gonna give this an O. For the Odyssey. I'm gonna give this an A for Atari. I'm gonna give this for A for Atari. I'm gonna give this a C for Coleco. This is a I don't care. I'm gonna give this I don't care. I'm gonna give this an I. Oop. I'm gonna give this an I for the Intellivision. I'm gonna give this a G for the Game & Watch. I'm gonna give this an A for Atari. I'm gonna give this a C for the Commodore. I'm gonna give this an N for Nintendo. I'm gonna give this an S for Sega. I'm gonna give this an A for Atari. I'm gonna give this an A for Atari. I am going to give this a T. Alright, I said I'm gonna give this a T. Stupid computer. I'm also gonna give this a T. I'm gonna give this a G for Game Boy. I'm gonna give this an S. I'm gonna give this a I don't care. I am going to give this an S. I'm gonna give this an S. I'm gonna give this console an S. I said I want this console to be an S. I'm gonna give this console an S. I'm gonna give this console an S. I'm gonna give this console an S. I'm gonna give this console. I'm gonna give this an S for SNK. I'm gonna give this an S. No, I'm gonna give it an N. My bad. I'm gonna give this an A. I'm gonna give this an A. I'm gonna give this a G. I'm gonna give this an N. I'm gonna give this a I don't care. I'm gonna give this a. I'm gonna give this an N. I'm gonna give this an S. I'm gonna give this an N. I'm gonna give this an N. Ooh, this is a hard one. Alright. I think I'm gonna give this the PlayStation a P. Yeah, a P. Yeah, we're gonna give this a P. We're gonna give this a P. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I didn't think about this. I'm going to give this one. Alright, I said I'm gonna give this one a 3. Yeah, you hear that? I'm giving this one a 3. Alright, I'm gonna give this a G. I'm sorry, this is my favorite thing of all time. I love Xbox. You gotta give this an X. Alright. You gotta give this an X. Alright. X for Xbox. G for Game Boy. G for Game Boy. G for GameCube. G for GBA. N for N-Gage. D for Dreamcast. P for PS2. P for PS2. X for Xbox. X for Xbox. Another Xbox whipped up. Ooh, D for DS. D for DS. D for DS. D for DS. I don't feel like adding another one, so we're gonna go with N for Nintendo. N for Nintendo. P for PlayStation. P for PlayStation. P for PlayStation. P for PlayStation. Lots of PlayStations, right? P for PlayStation. G for Gizmodo. I don't care. X for Xbox. X for Xbox. X for Xbox. N for Nintendo. N for Nintendo. 3 for 3DS XL. 3 for 3DS. I'm gonna go with the 3 for the new 3DS. 2 for the new 3DS. I'm gonna give this I don't care, because there's no actual place to put the physical games in. And you know, I'm changing my list. I'm gonna go to PSP code to I don't care. And for Nintendo Switch. Tablets are out of style. I don't care. I don't care. N for Neo Geo. P for PlayStation. 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 I don't care. I don't have an E, so I'm gonna give this a B for Blaze. X for Xbox. X for Xbox. Oh, we don't want that. I'm gonna give this a G for Game & Watch. N for Nintendo. Ooh, actually, I'm gonna change things up a little bit, alright? I'm gonna give this an S. I'm gonna change the Switch to NES. I'm gonna give this, I don't care. Because I don't care. P for PlayStation. C for computer. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Ooh. I'm gonna give this an S for Steam. And we ran into a problem here. We have nothing for the F-row. So I'm thinking of changing my list, okay? You wanna know? The F-row never mattered. Yeah. You don't matter. Well, that is officially my list. And you know what now? If you don't like it, you're a horrible person. Alright? I'll steal your soul. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you. No, but seriously, no, I will steal your soul. Alright? You hear me? Okay!
What's up, everyone? This is Max here. Sorry about that earlier. Mr. Monkey, he had to record first, and he got a little bit carried away with his console tier list. It is now my turn. Alright, so first off, we got Atari Pong. You know, Pong, I mean, it's a hot classic, but at the same time, when are you going to play a Pong console? I don't know anyone that owns a Pong console, so... Dude, my mom owned a Pong console, and I forget the name of it, but it was something, and she keeps talking about how amazing it was, so, I don't know. I'm gonna go with C tier for Pong. Alright, Coleco Colortron. I have no idea what this is. Now, unfortunately, what is this? Colortron. Coleco Colortron. What graphics? It just looks like a bootleg Atari. I know the ColecoVision, but I have no idea what the Colortron is, so... Do I even give this a ranking? I'm gonna add a new row. Yeah, row below. I'm gonna give a I don't know. Yeah. Magnavox Odyssey. Now, this is the first ever console of all time. So, you can't give it some slack. But, how it worked was that you had to, like, place images over the screen. It sounds kind of stupid now, but that's how they did it back then. I'm gonna give it a C tier. Below Pong. Alright, next up, Atari 2600. I'm gonna give it an A for Atari. You know, it was great. It's very iconic. But you only get, like, a button and a stick. This was before they really knew how to make video games. So I'm gonna give this an A tier. Atari 5200, straight F tier. They gave you a freaking TV remote as a controller. They made a console like 3 times the Atari 2600, and the game still looked worse than the NES. ColecoVision. This is the one I know. It still has a stupid freaking remote controller. It was pretty bad. I'm gonna give it a D tier. Fairchild. What the hell is the Fairchild? Yeah, I have no idea what the Fairchild is. I'm gonna give it, I don't know. I have not heard of this before until this tier list. Oh my god, there's so many. Vectrex. I actually have... Okay, I could be wrong, but I remember playing this when I was at gaming convention down in Pittsburgh called we don't have it anymore, sadly. It was called a Replay FX. And I remember, I think I played one of these. And based off what I played, it was pretty cool. I'm gonna give it a C tier. Below Pong, but above Odyssey. Mattel Intellivision. This is just the same thing as a ColecoVision, but made by Mattel. So I'm gonna give this D tier. But you know, Mattel, you know, they still make board game stuff and are still alive, so I'm gonna give them above the ColecoVision. Game & Watch. One of the first ever portable consoles. This was before the Game Boy, Nintendo's first portable console. I'm thinking of giving this a B tier. You know, obviously it doesn't really hold up today, but I mean, Mr. Game & Watch is in Smash Bros, so that bumps it up. Atari 7800. Still F tier, but slightly better than a 5200. It still comes with the it comes with the stick, obviously, but it's still pretty bad, but it's like slightly better than 5200. Commodore 64. When this came out, this thing was fire. This was before, you know, this was one of the first gaming computers. I'm not sure how well it holds up today. I mean, you don't see anyone really collecting Commodore 64s, or at least I know of, unless you're like the AVGN. I'm gonna give it a B tier. The NES. This is going straight into S tier. Like, this thing is a hot classic, alright? People love the NES, alright? It's one of those recognizable consoles. You know, you got Super Mario, Legend of Zelda, Metroid. Alright, this got everything. Alright, and people still collect it. Alright, you know, the Nintendo Classic, NES Classic Edition exists for a reason. People still collect it, which I think is unfortunately not on this list, but but NES going straight into S tier. I have many fond memories of it. Master System. This console gets clowned on all the time. It isn't the worst. I mean, it isn't no Genesis, but people still kind of like it. It isn't objective. It isn't terrible or anything. I'm gonna give it... I feel like people at least know what it is. Genesis is what really brought them into mainstream. For now, I'm gonna give it a B tier. Atari Lynx. Now, if I remember correctly, the Atari Lynx, yeah, it was actually more powerful, than the Game Boy. It was actually really good. I'm gonna give the original one an A tier. 1, 2. Alright, and then I'm gonna give this one above that. Maybe controversial, but it was a really good portable console. TurboGrafx 16 Mini. I'm gonna give this an S tier. and original TurboGrafx 16 S tier. These were amazing consoles. Alright. TurboGrafx 16 is one of the best 16-bit consoles of all time, and the Mini is just a miniature version of that. How could you hate it? Alright. Game Boy Pocket. Game Boy Pocket. Alright. I'm going to give the Game Boy Pocket an S tier. Because the Game Boy Pocket is just the Game Boy, but just better. Or it has a backlit screen, and it takes less batteries. It's just a Game Boy, but they just made it better, okay? Alright. SNES. S tier. How could it be anything else? Alright, classic console, you know. You got Super Metroid. Alright, you got Super Mario Kart was introduced. F-Zero. Hot classics. And I would also, you know, it's my bad. I'm gonna change it, TurboGrafx 16 Mini and TurboGrafx 16 above the NES. SNES Gen 2. It's still just the SNES, but just like a weird redesign. So I'm gonna give it below the original type. Philips CDI. This is one of the worst consoles ever made. Now, if you don't know what this is, when Nintendo were supposed to work with Sony to make a console, Nintendo declined and instead made this console with Philips. Now, Nintendo then ended up finishing making a console with them, but what happened was that Nintendo gave up some of their IPs to Philips so that Philips could make games using their branding. We got some of the worst Mario and Zelda games out of that deal, and Nintendo has never given out their IPs ever again because of that. It costed a fortune when it came out, and it's just hot garbage. Sega 32X. I don't know how to rank this one because it isn't a console. It's here, but it is a console, but like, and it was 32-bit, but it's like tied to the Genesis. I don't know how to rank this one. This is a weird one. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna give it B tier, but I might change my mind. Sega CD. It was just the 32X, but again, it isn't a real console. It's just like an extension. So it was better than the 32X. So we got Sonic CD out of it. Sega Game Gear. Also incredible. Better than the original Game Boy. It was more powerful than the original Game Boy. These were really good consoles, portable consoles. Link and Game Gear. They had the same games. Game Gear was just essentially a portable Sega Master System. When the Genesis came out, it was just really good. If you ever see one and it's at affordable price, I recommend buying it. Sega Genesis version 2. The Sega Genesis is a really good console. I'm not sure if I like it more than an SNES though. I think the SNES was still the best 16-bit console. So I'm gonna put it above TurboGrafx 16, but below SNES. And then Gen 3, I'm gonna put below Gen 2. And for some reason, each revision just kept getting worse. So that's why the original Sega Genesis is going above its revisions. Alright, Neo Geo. This is also an incredible console. I'm gonna put Neo Geo there, and then I'm gonna put actually the Neo Geo CD above it. Alright. Great consoles. You know, great stuff. Atari Jaguar. Whoa. This is the CD add-on. This might be actually one of the worst consoles ever made. They tried combining two 32-bit processors and claimed that it was 64-bit, and the console manufacturers gave all the developers some of the worst instructions on how to use the console. So you spend a fortune, and they claim it's a 64-bit console, but none of the developers actually know how to use it. So all the games just ended up 32 bits. It's one of the worst consoles. All the games were terrible. It looked worse than what was on the SNES. Just don't buy it. Game Boy Color. It's just the Game Boy with color. What more else has to be said? Actually, dude, I'm actually going to put Game Boy, and I'm going to put Game Boy Color above Game Boy Pocket. I'm putting all the Game Boys in A tier. You know, I don't think a portable consoles should be in S tier because they're portable consoles. Except one, but we'll get to one later. But yeah, Game Boy is A. Nintendo 64. Great console, you know, great 64-bit console, had some classics. The only thing that's holding it back is the controller. The controller ain't it. I'm a big Nintendo guy. So I'm a little bit biased. I'm really big into Nintendo and Xbox, Microsoft, and also Sony, you know, the big three. The controller's kind of weird. They decided to have 3 prongs. I'm gonna put it above the Genesis, but below the SNES. Virtual Boy. I'm not gonna put this in F tier because it does get dissed all the time, but for good reason. But at the same time, they were doing something very, very ambitious, and it just fell flat on his face. So I gotta give it some of his props. I'm putting this in the D tier. Buffs and Television, ColecoVision. Second Nomad. If I remember correctly. Yeah, the second Nomad was just a better version of the Sega Game Gear. So I'm just placing it right there. Sega Saturn. This console was absolutely hated, and it kind of sunk Sony into the ground, but it had some good games, you know. It had Nights into Dreams. I believe it had... Yeah, it also had Panzer Dragoon, which was really good. I'm gonna put this in. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna put it top of C. I have heard of this. From what I can understand, it was pretty good portable consoles, but not as good as the Lynx or Game Gear. I could be wrong. I do know what this is and everything. I don't think I've heard. No, I've never used a Neo Geo Pocket, but I'm gonna go with my gut. I'm gonna go with a B tier. Alright. PlayStation 1. This was the console that Nintendo was supposed to make with Sony, but Nintendo backed out. So essentially, they created their own competition, which is not a good thing you should do. Despite that though, I can't be hating because I'm putting this straight into S tier. And this is gonna be the first one, kind of biased because I own Generation 2, but I'm gonna put original 1 behind the revision. 3DO. The 3DO. It's not terrible. It did have some pretty good games. It had Gex. That's a big upturn. That's a big reason to own it. I'm gonna put them in the C, below the Sega Saturn. Actually, you know what? Pong is more iconic. I'm giving it to Pong. Alright. Game. I'm sorry. We have the Game.com, or Gamecom as it's referred to. Again, the only reason I know of this, obviously it was born after Tiger Electronic craze of the 90s. The only reason I know of this is because of one episode by AVGN. Huge fan of him. You wanna? I'm gonna put this in F tier. It might be one of the worst consoles of all time, and I'm gonna put Atari 7800 in. Actually, you wanna? I'm gonna put it here. Yeah, I'm switching my 7800 placement. Sue me. Xbox. Alright. I freaking love Xbox. I'm not sure, you know, it has better graphics. It had Halo. But at the same time, this was before it had Xbox Live. This was one of the first consoles along with PlayStation 2 to have internet capabilities. Or Xbox Live was awesome during that time. Especially playing Halo 2 online, but the controller's weird, alright? This was before they fully had the controller down. When they had the controller fully realized. So I'm not sure if I like it more than the PlayStation. Because the PlayStation still feels great to play even today. And the online support doesn't work anymore because we shut that down, so I'm gonna put it below the PlayStation. Game Boy Advance. This is better than all of these portables. Still a portable, but it's the best one out of all of these. Game Boy Micro. It's just the Game Boy, but they were able to cram it into the size of like the palm of your hand, you know, very, very tiny. Nintendo GameCube. S tier. How could it not be anything? Alright, the controller is slick, you know, had some of the best exclusive games. Graphics still hold up. I feel like graphics from Xbox, GameCube, PS2 era, and you can also say Dreamcast is when games start to is how far people can go back to for games looking, I'm gonna say acceptable. I'm gonna say acceptable, but high quality. Like PlayStation, you know, you got some of that jank. Nintendo 64 has that look, you know, because early 3D, you know, they couldn't even produce 3D with the SNES. Unless you count the chips for like Donkey Kong Country. GameCube is S tier. Also, that intro, iconic. GBA SP, just the Game Boy Advance, but they made it better. It came in a clamshell design, so you could actually like close it and like put it in your pocket instead of carrying something bulky. Going into A tier. Alright, Nokia N-Gage. This was when they tried making a phone and a game console at the same time to be hip. I mean, it was a cool experiment, but I'm gonna put it into D. I'm gonna put it in D tier for what it tried doing. It's not much, but it still tried doing something. Dreamcast. How could it be? It's gotta go into S tier. Alright. If you're gonna notice a trend, the further we get into timeline of consoles and gaming, the better the products are going to become and the higher they're going to rank. It's not always true, but it's mostly true. Alright, the Dreamcast, it didn't have much support because they decided to release the Saturn before this and they went bankrupt and had to go third party. But man, the games they did put out, man, they were bangers. Banger console. The controller, same problem with the Xbox. It didn't necessarily have the best controller. The GameCube and PS2 had the best controllers by far during this era. Had some great exclusives, but some of the games that were exclusive got ported to other consoles. Like Sonic Adventure 2 got ported over to GameCube. Same with Sonic Adventure 1. Crazy Taxi got ported over to like the PS2 and GameCube as well. It wasn't their fault they had to do it, but kind of knocks down Dreamcast a peg. That's where the Dreamcast lands for me. Alright fam. Oh, PS2. This gotta go into S tier, man. Alright, especially the Sim version. Alright, I'm gonna put the original one. PS2 is a hot classic. Alright, great controller. Great exclusives. Alright. It was backwards compatible with PS1 games, so it already had this entire library. This is one of the first consoles to have backwards compatibility that really mattered. So, PlayStation, alright. Could play on the PS2. Better controller. Iconic menu. Alright. There's a reason it's one of the best selling consoles of all time. Microsoft with the Xbox 360. These are my childhood consoles right here. The first two generations. I never knew anyone that owned the Xbox 360e. The Xbox 360, I'm really conflicted. Because Xbox 360, while I never experienced a malfunction problem, it is notorious for having malfunction problems. So I'm not sure if it was better than PS2, but... Alright, all the games for this console, though. It had so many great games. The interface, even though it got like 5 new interfaces, all of them were tight. Party chat was introduced. Game score was introduced. It had Xbox Live Arcade. Alright, so many great memories. I'm gonna say this. Probably not gonna agree with me. I'm putting Xbox 360. It might be the best console of all time. Even though it had the malfunctions. I'm gonna put Gen 2 above it simply because it didn't break for people. And I'll put the Gen 3 as the first version because I don't know anyone that owns it and it looks like a bootleg Xbox One. Terrible redesign. Nintendo DSi. And a Nintendo DS. This is when portable consoles really hit their peak, in my opinion. This and the PSP, which we'll get to. Alright, and it got even improved by the Nintendo DSi. Alright, this was... Actually, I'm gonna put the DS up. Yeah, I'm actually gonna put DSi, but DS Lite as the best. Because they removed Game Boy Advance compatibility with the DSi, which I don't really like. I'm a huge fan of backwards compatibility. I also forgot to mention that the Xbox 360 was backwards compatible with a lot of the original Xbox games. So that was also a huge advantage for it. Nintendo DSi XL is I never understood the point of it, because it's just an extra large version, but portable consoles, you want to be small, so you can take it around with you. Nintendo Wii Mini, a miniature version of Wii. It had no GameCube support, so it is automatically worse than the original Wii. Nintendo Wii is weird, because I really do love it. Obviously, it's ranking very high S tier, above the PlayStation 2. The Wii Remote was cool, the motion controls were really cool. A lot of great memories as a kid. My major complaint, and why it isn't my favorite console of all time, was that to make it cheaper and to appear more to casuals or something. Oh shit! My bad. Oh my god. To appear more to casuals, to appear more to casuals, it has no HDMI compatibility, so all the games still use AV cables, which at the time, even as a kid, at the time was kind of ugly compared to the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. Which brings me to my next console, PlayStation 3. I'm really conflicted on this. I'm not sure if the PlayStation 3 is better than the Xbox 360. I own a PlayStation 3. I'm not sure if I'm gonna put it above Xbox 360 though. It didn't have the it didn't have the hardware malfunctions. But it did have it had more exclusives. The controller is still very nice. Lots of exclusives. I might be controversial. So far, the PlayStation 3 is the best console of all time. It had The Last of Us, it had Uncharted. I remade all the PlayStation 2 games. If you got the original version, which sadly I do not. I already have a PlayStation 1 and 2, so I don't need the backwards compatibility. But if you really want the backwards compatibility, and you need it, this would be the best console of all time. It's backwards compatible with the PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 1, which is flat out incredible. PSP Go. A really weird redesign of the PSP that tried being where you only downloaded games. Super ahead of its time, because no one really buys physical copies. But when they released this, man, no one bought it because people were still collecting physical games. And as someone that collects physical games still, I don't really understand the point. I'm not even sure if you still can buy games on the PSP Go. Can you still buy games on the PSP Go? I'll be right back. Alright, yeah. This thing is going straight into a D tier, because apparently you can even play games on this thing. So this thing is actually a hot garbage. As of right now. It can't even play games on it. So it's going straight into D tier. PSP. Not as good as Nintendo DS. But still a very iconic portable console. Was one of the best portable consoles we ever received. So it's going into A tier. Sorry again. The Tiger Gizmodo. This is going into a it's going into F tier. No one wants this. No one wants this in their life. No one needs this in their life. It's just garbage. Google Stadia. This was a massive L from Google. I'm gonna give it a D tier just for the fact that they're already canceling it, and none of the games might also work for this platform as well. Xbox One. I still do believe that consoles do get better with each generation, because if they got worse, no one would be buying them. Like, no one bought the 5200. They just went straight to NES, but no one would buy a 5200 when the Atari 2600 still existed. So the fact that people bought Xbox Ones and were fine upgrading, this may be controversial. So far, our top console is Xbox. I do believe that consoles got better over time. Xbox One S tier as well, and the best being the most powerful version of this, the Xbox One X. You know, they're the best. You know, backwards compatible with original Xbox and Xbox 360. And not only that, it enhanced all the games. Didn't have much exclusives. It did have some. It did have some. Had Halo MCC is great in its current state. Sunset Overdrive was a fun game. I know I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for this, but objectively, consoles have been getting better over time. Mostly have been getting better over time. I'm gonna give Xbox One S tier. 2DS. It is just a 3DS but without the 2D part. So and again, I don't understand the the 2DS XL, I believe, was a clamshell and you could clamp it down, and the 2DS you couldn't. So the XL, I'm putting above. This is one of the cases where the XL is actually going above the original. 3DS is just the 2DS, but it has the 3D effect. Hold up. Alright. Yeah, so the new 3DS is just a 3DS, but it's a newer version of it, and it's just better. That's all I have to say. And it's still backwards compatible with all original DS titles. So I am top of A tier. Take that back, I am a liar. Top of A tier is going to the Nintendo Switch Lite. Alright, it is the Nintendo Switch, but you can't actually, it's cheaper, it's smaller, but it does not take any, actual physical, cartridges. So if you're someone like me that collects physical games, no go. Still really good though. Nintendo Switch. This is so far the top, our top place for consoles. Great consoles. The Nintendo Switch. It's a great console. You know, this is what I meant. This is the best portable console because it's a hybrid, so it's a console and also portable. So far, I don't know any other console that's like the Nintendo Switch. Like, you can play Skyrim on the go. There is one other console though, which is the Steam Deck. We will get there. But besides that, it has all the Nintendo exclusives. All the Wii U games got ported onto this as well. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is just Mario Kart 8 but better. You know, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was considered one of the best games of the 2010s, if not the best game of all time. Nintendo Switch gotta go straight into S tier, top game console. The Wii U. The Wii U it's gonna go into top. It's gonna go into A tier. It's not terrible. There's just no use of it. It had a lot of great games. It was first Nintendo console with HDMI, but being late isn't something to be proud of. The tablet was really expensive and super clunky. It only had 8 gigabytes of storage. Put in perspective, the Xbox One has 500 gigabytes of storage, the original one. I don't really see the purpose of the Wii U anymore, because most games are ported over to the Switch. Sorry to all my Wii U fans out there. Sorry, Scott the Woz. The Ouya. Ooh, yikes. This is going into F tier. This one was a major stinker. Everything, the controller sucked. The console sucked. It had one really good game, but it didn't sell, and it sold once it got off the Ouya. So it actively made games not sell. This is just a hot pile of garbage. I'm going F tier. Neo Geo X. Alright, from what I can understand, the Neo Geo X, I might put this in the S tier because it is just the Neo Geo, but portable. And putting Neo Geo on a portable console is kind of just incredible. PlayStation 4. Hear me out. It had way more exclusives than the Xbox One. But the problem is that it doesn't have any backwards compatibility. I'm thinking of putting this in the... I'm definitely putting it S tier. I'm not sure if it goes above the Xbox and below the Switch, or below the Xbox in general. You know what? So I don't have a witch mop. I'm gonna put the PS4 above the Xbox One. PlayStation TV. I'm not sure how they rank this. You could play PS Vita games on it. On your TV, so I do know what it is, but I don't know how they rank. You know, you deserve the C tier spot. PS Vita. This was the PlayStation equivalent to the 3DS. I'm gonna put an A tier behind the 3DS. I just prefer the DS more to the PlayStation portables. But I can see why you put the Vita over the 3DS. I have no idea what this is. I have no idea what this is. Alright, if you know what this is in the comments and you have any experiences with it, please let me know, because I genuinely don't know what this is. Straight up. Xbox Series S. A tier. It is just the Xbox Series X without the discs, and to me that's problematic because I need the physical disc drive so I can buy physical games and play them. So it does not qualify for S tier. But the Xbox Series X does. Above the PlayStation 4, but below the Switch. It is currently our current gen, I believe, is our best. You know, it's got the best graphics. The Xbox Series X is backwards compatible with the Xbox One, Xbox 360, and original Xbox. It has might arguably the best controller of all time, the Xbox Series X controller. It's powerful. It runs well. The console UI isn't complete garbage. Yeah, top console. The Game & Watch 2020. I'm gonna put this in B. Above the original Game & Watch. It's just a remastered 40-year anniversary version of the original Game & Watch. Oh, I'm sorry, no. This could play any NES games. It was a Game & Watch, but it could like run Super Mario. So actually, I'm gonna put this above the Game Boy. You know what? I'm putting this above the Game Boy. And I'm actually gonna put I think I got this list wrong. You know what? Sue me. I'm doing this instead. Yeah. You know what? I changed my list. Neo Geo in A tier. Nintendo Switch OLED. It's just the most powerful version of the Nintendo Switch currently. The Panic Playdate. No idea. PlayStation 5. Below the Switch, above the Series X. The frickin' new controller is super cool. DualSense. Some of the best graphics we're currently seeing. The major problem is that no one for 2 years straight couldn't get their hands on it because of scalpers. I mean, it was the same problem with the Series X, but more so with the PlayStation 5. Yeah, PlayStation 5 going to S tier. Alright, computer. It's technically not a game console, but the person that made this tier list qualifies it as. So it is the best, you know. You have free, you know, you can do whatever you want with the computer. It gets a lot of both Microsoft exclusive games and PlayStation exclusive games. But even if you can't, you can emulate basically whatever you want. You could do pretty much anything. You know, mod support, a free online game, or Steam, Epic Game Store. You know, it has everything. You can download games off the browser, download mods, split the internet. Computer's just objectively the best. NVIDIA. Give me 1 second. NVIDIA Shield. Alright. Yeah, that's what I thought. NVIDIA Shield Portable is technically impressive. Again, I don't know anyone that owns it compared to the Steam Deck, but based off what it can do alone, and it has a reason to. portability instead of just saying buying a computer. So it doesn't have the exclusives of Nintendo, so I'm gonna put it above the PS5 but below the Switch. Shield TV. You can just play this. You can just play your Shield games on the TV, but the whole point of the Shield Portable is that you can play it on the go. Shield TV. I'm gonna put the Shield TV in. Can I understand the purpose of it? It's going below the PlayStation TV. On Live Cloud, I don't know what this is. If you do know, please let me know. Steam Deck. It's just an NVIDIA portable, but you know the Steam Deck. One of my friends was freaking playing Elden Ring on a trip on the Steam Deck. Alright, it's very powerful. It's portable, so you can take it wherever you want. And it's just flat out incredible. And the Steam Link, again, same thing as the Shield TV and PlayStation TV. You're just able, so you can hook it up. Here is my final tier list. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you have a great day. Make sure to like and subscribe to this video. Check out my social media if you're able to. Peace.